Hi, my name is Indranee Rone. Today I want to talk about the memories. What happened in Somalia, 1992, 1993, February 92 till February 93. Because I remember March 93 where the American convoy went into Somalia to support. I'm from southwest of Somalia. I born in a city called Baydhabo, a very beautiful city. That city's been named, or people know that city as the paradise of Somalia, because the name it itself is Baydhabo Janai, Paradise Baydhabo. My paradise Baydhabo was renamed 1993, the graveyard of Somalia. Almost 500,000 people died there by starvation, some of them being buried alive. In Somalia, we keep our lively stock in a hole inside the ground. And Siad Barre's army, because it was a tribalism fight, civil war there. It was not Rahawain who started to tell them that Darod has to leave Somalia. It was General Aidid did that. We didn't have any general fighting on our behalf. With the weapons of Siad Barre, his people used and turned against us, and they start killing civilians, burying civilians alive, taking our seeds, the livelihood stock we had. They took some of the animals to Kenya, to Tanzania, to Ethiopia. When they had enough, they used to just kill the animals for fun. 500,000 people died for starvation. That is the reason American convoy came into 1993 to Somalia. Farmajo had apologized what had happened 1988 in Somaliland, which Siad Barre did, or what Siad Barre did. But he's not apologizing the war that he was part of it. The war in south of Somalia, he was part of it. It was his people. He didn't apologize us. They used to kill people. They used to tie up 15, 20 in a house and burn them alive. They used to burn them alive. Shooting, they were shooting them by fun, just for fun, not by killing. Killing, it was either burying them alive or burning them alive. The rest, when they took everything that those people had for a livelihood, people start dying for starvation. Southwest people were not armed. They were not armed. They didn't have any weapons. The world knows that. It is a video running around everywhere, videos which been taken there. General Morgan showing off how he was killing, how they were surviving with the food of Rahawain people, how they were robbing. He was showing off. BBC knows. The world knows. The American knew. Because they came there for our aid. Nobody did anything. They used to take the youngsters to sell out in Europe. Some of them, they took it and they turned them into soldiers. And their families were killed. Everything they owned, they taken away. Because Southwest people are farmers. And what does farmers have? Animal. Stocks like maize and stuff like that. General Morgan, he was saying that they were living the jawal seeds of Sorahawaii. That's how they're surviving. Because he was the one who was leading the army. The tribalism army of Marayan. Women were raped. Young girls were raped. Boys were tied up 15, 20, 25, 50. Tied up and then burned them alive. Some of them, they were asking them to dig the holes that they were keeping the seeds while they're using their weapons. After each person empties the livestock that he had in the hole, what did they do? They didn't, spare their lives. They buried them alive in the hole, the holes under the ground. God knows how they died, how much suffering went there, how much suffering went there. Now, when people become like they have got a dementia or something, they don't remember anything. Even though they remember, they don't talk about it. Those who survived with that horrible, horrific life, who survived and knows every details of it, they're scared to talk about. They don't say anything about it. No one speaks on their behalf. No one says anything. It's like the world doesn't care. It's like the rest of the Somalians themselves don't care. They become a push-off who kicks and punches everybody in the street, broad daylight. Then the little survived. The little survived. They created Al-Shabaab. Who is the father of Al-Shabaab? Of Al-Shabaab? Yem Rehan again. But the young boys had been turned up and then tied up on the bombs and then exploded. Ar-Rahwain. No one stops them. The nation of Rahwain is like they have no feelings at all. The men they don't do anything to stop this. Massacre day in, day out is happening in Somalia. Farmajo, he became a president in Somalia. Under his rule, under his control, the first state that he built as a federal state in Somalia was southwest of Somalia. What did he do? He used the American army to do his dirty work. They killed almost 20 kids there. And then, what did he do? He was grateful to the army for the good job they did by killing Rahwain children. Still, the world knows that. And they want him to be a president. And he's still keeping to be a president in Somalia. No justice. No really justice. What can? Well, I need an answer. I really need an answer. What did we do to deserve that? We had 6 states in 1960, the constitution that did by the Italians and the English. 6 states. Jubaland was part of Southwest. It'd been divided in 2. Half been taken away. The other half, still 2 sides, people are fighting. Like Southwest, the Houder region, Bakol region, and Southeast, like Shabelle. They are saying it doesn't belong to Rahwain. It doesn't deserve to Rahwain. I can see that the world is watching. And he was packed up to do this massacre and these things. But I can see we're being wiped out on this earth. with the agreement of the international community, with the payment of international community, with the payment of the taxpayers of the Europeans and the West. Is that really fair? He have no remorse for us, no regret for us on our behalf. That he feels, nothing's there. No regret, no remorse. It's like we've been a dead cat or something. These days, in the West, people are feeling for the animals. They have feeling for it. You can't just kill a cat. But in southwest of Somalia, human being doesn't count. They've been exploded bit by pieces, or they've been buried alive, or they've been burned up alive. They've been raped. They were sold. Who's gonna answer for us this? Why did we deserve this? Why did we deserve this? What did Rakhine people do to deserve this? What did they do to deserve this? What did they really, really do to deserve this? Or did to deserve this? All I know is whatever we are human being as well. And we deserve justice like anybody else. We deserve like life like everybody else. We deserve to be alive like anybody else, or to survive like anybody else. Thank you very much. I hope the world will listen my video and do something about it. Hi, my name is Indorone Inrone. I am from southwest of Somalia. I want to talk about some memories which went in Somalia, 1993-92. February 92 to February 93, almost 1.5 million people died there. Mostly starvation, man-made starvation. And the others had been killed, either buried them alive, burned them alive, and being shot down for fun. By the army of Siad Barre. I can't call them army because the government was over at that time. It was a kind of tribalism fight, civil war. Habib started chasing up the road, but Rakhine was in the wrong place in the wrong time. kind of. Because the route that Darod was running into was Rahwen's land. And Darod had come back, armed, especially Marehan. They come back. While the General Morgan was leading the army. They start killing it, Rahwen people. They start taking it, their livelihood, their animals. The boys had been killed by burning them alive while they are tied up 50, 20, 30 in a room and then burn them alive. The rest, they've been buried alive because in southwest of Somalia, and people are farmers. And in Somalia, southwest Somalia, they have ancient stock holding or stock keeping halls inside the ground, like the maize and the jawals they put under the ground. Marayhan people, when they come back, heavily armed, killing civilians. Rahwen wasn't armed. We didn't have any general there. No soldiers at all. The world knows that. The world knows that. They've been killed. After they took the animals to Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, General Morgan himself admits that they are surviving. The Tarot are surviving with the livelihood stock of Rahawayim people. The videos are running around in the YouTubes. British and Americans went in Somalia. 1993, a lot of people went there. Reporters. Reporting back what's happening there. It was unimaginable the way being treated in Rahawayim people in that period of time. The way being treated. It's like they were not a human being at all. The starvation was a man-made. It'd been deliberately done to that. I didn't want to remember that horrible memory. I didn't want to remember. But something made me talk. Now. The war between Somaliland and Somalia in 1988, Siad Barre's government destroyed Somaliland. There was bombardment by warplanes there, tanks, things like that. But Somaliland, they fight back. They had a weapon in there as well. Rahwen didn't, unfortunately. They are not war people. They were so stupid. The only little weapon that they had when that general came, what is his name? Omar something. They gave it to him, that Ogadeni guy. Morgan was with him because they were fighting as a Darot at that time. They were together. They joined up just to destroy Rawen people while they were not even armed. They had no weapon at all. 1.5 million people died just for fun because someone else feel like it. President Farmajo had apologized to Somaliland on behalf of what Siad Barre did. But I had a caution for that, about that. My caution was this. He was part of the war in southwest of Somalia. He didn't say anything about it. No remorse. No sorry. No sorry. He's not sorry. No apology. Nothing. To Rahowen people. Rahowen people became like they have got a dementia. They don't talk about it. Even though they know those who survived, with that horrific massacre, they don't talk about it. They don't say anything about that. But they remember every detail of it. Every detail of it. The worst thing is they remember every bit of it. But they don't say anything about it. They don't complain. Maybe it's psychologically damaged. All of it. The rape, the killing, the burying alive, letting them die there with the starvation while their animals by being killed just for fun. The rest had been taken away and sold in Tanzania, Kenya, and Ethiopia. Still there, some remaining. Some other people get rich for their wealth while they were dying for starvation. Because the Arab people at that time was armed. Rawen wasn't. They were armed. Marehan was armed. But not Rawen. Some of the children who been killed, their families and their livelihood have been taken away. They took with them and they turned into soldiers. It is those who are fighting on behalf of Marehang now in Jubaland. Those are Rahawen children, most of it. There are some children running around in Europe, 1993, I remember, sold out. Some of them even they went in Israel, I remember. The children being sold out. Those children being sold out was the Rahawen children, majority. Those children, they came between Iran to Southwest. The two worst states in Somalia is the Iran and so Konfurgabet, like Southwest. Then later on, the Al-Shabaab had been created. In Southwest location, the godfathers of Al-Shabaab are Marayhan. The gimmicks who are exploding are Rahawen children. The nation of Rahawen is like they have got no feeling at all. They are not talking about that. They are not trying to stop that. The men are not talking about. They are not trying to stop their kids to be exploded in pieces, tied up in bombs while they are alive. They are not stopping that massacre. And the world is watching. The world is watching. President Farmajo became president in Somalia. It was his duty to build up federal states. The first state that he built was southwest of Somalia. What did he do? He used the Amazon army, like the Ethiopian army. They are there as Amazon, as a peacekeeping. He used them to kill people by tanks. People who are young boys who are demonstrating for being interfered about their votes or the person they wanted to be elected on their behalf or something like that. Whatever happened there, it was a freedom of speech. They were demonstrating because of their votes being denied to vote. And Farmajo ordered the Ethiopian army to use tanks against the young boys who are doing demonstration, and almost 20 died there. And what did he do after that? He gave his appreciation to Ethiopian army for the way they killed our boys, or the good job that they did by killing the civilians who are just doing a demonstration, who are not armed. He said, well done. Still, the world knows, the international community knows that. That power, that money, the soldier, the weapon, The army who have got the tanks and killing people, civilian people who are doing just a normal demonstration, showing their feelings that we like saying we deserve to have our say. It is our country, we need to vote, kind of. With of the taxpayers' money of the Western people. International community is backing up, is paying off those army who start shooting people for no good reason at all. People they didn't have any weapons. They were throwing stones. There were live videos. The boys were just videoing themselves into Facebook live. They can't lie on behalf. Instead of saying sorry to us, he says, thank you for the good job that you did. For the Ethiopian army, the Amazon army, the peacekeeping army, who just came there to keep a peace. He uses it for personal gain. And the world did not do anything about that. Still he is in power. Wants to come back. International community are supporting him. It's like we are not human beings. It's like we are going to be wiped out in this world with the support of the international community. Why? My question is why? What did we do or what did we did to deserve all this happening to us? In 1960, we had a 6 state. The 2 states, Jubaland and Southwest, there was one. Now it was divided. Even though that the British people knows that. The British knows that. The British knows. The government knows. Norwegian paid off so that our land had been taken away. Even though they know that we were victims under the rule of Siad Barre. We've been killed and massacre took place in 1992-1993 with the weapon of the previous government. The world knows that, but still they are supporting it. To the people who did that to us, to take our land in 2 pieces, to divide in 2 pieces. Still the world allowed that our youngsters being killed while they're just doing a demonstration to say that we need to vote. We want to choose the one we want, the president we want, or the governor we want. They had no right to do that. President Farmaajo decided that they had no right to do that, and they had to die for it. They've been used artillery and tanks against the youth who are doing demonstration. We became the push off. We've been pushed off. Why? What did we do? What did we do to deserve that? What did we do? Did we do anything so horrible that we deserve that massacre? And no apology, no remorse, no regret. Life's just as usual. And day in, day out, we are losing boys. Why? Why? I just want to know why. Why? Thank you very much.